Hello everybody! This time it's Wyduck with Game 2 of Best of 5 series from the Korea Season 2 OSL playoffs. And in quarterfinal action, we're here on Star Station. In the bottom right, spawning as the Blue Terran, we have arguably the best player in Starcraft 2 in the world currently. We have STX Soul's Innovation. And sometimes it's really tough to live up to a building like that, but he is up 1-0 in this series against his opponent in the top left, spawning as the Yellow Zerg. We have Woonjin Star's ace player, Soulkey. Now, Soulkey, like I mentioned before, was down 3-0 in Season 1 in the Korean final and won the next 4 games to blow Innovation out of the water and take that trophy home. I don't think Innovation wants to do that again unless he's able to 3-0 Soulkey here, because this time it is a best of 5, and if he 3-0 Soulkey, he doesn't have to worry about a 4-game-in-a-row comeback because the series will be over at that point. But Innovation knows that Soulkey can defeat him handedly as well, so Innovation's going to have to pull out all the stops. But Soulkey is down 1-0 in this series, so the momentum is really on the Terran side. Soulkey is going to be going out with a hatchery, and it looks like Innovation's going to be going really greedy. He's going for 14 CC on the low ground. Soulkey's drone was already in position, able to poke away at that SCV immediately once that command center was plopped down. So this is interesting. I mentioned this before. When you do open up with 14cc on the low ground, one of the things you have to worry about is wandering scouts. Because if a probe or a drone or an SCV is there, they're going to be able to poke away at that SCV building that command center. And that's going to delay a little bit, and you have to pull off another SCV to deal with that drone. And it looks like instead of punishing it early, Soulkey is going to be opting for an early third hatchery himself. Not a bad idea. Whatever you can do, I can do better. And so Soulkey will have the base advantage, and hopefully he can turn this into an economic advantage to help power him through to Game 3. The spawning pool is down, and the command center is almost complete for Innovation. That barracks is going to finally complete, so the first army unit will be training. We've got a Marine coming out of that barracks, and Innovation is going to need a lot of Marines in this game to deal with the Zerg might of Soulkey. Now, this is one of those really strange maps because your third base is really wide open. And so as a Terran player, it's a lot easier to defend than other races, I think, because you have siege tanks and things like that, and you can block off with supply depots. Zerg players generally don't need to defend nearly as much, but there are lots of entryways into the third. You can go from the left side or the right side, depending on which side of the map you're on. You can come up from the ramp, and you can also come up here from around the second base, from the natural. So there are quite a few ways to attack. So on Star Station, it's very wide open, and so it really, really initiates more aggressive plays from players simply because you have an advantage to attack. You can get pretty good concaves on this area if you space your units correctly. Now, another thing to note as well is that because there's so many ways of entry, it's difficult for Zerg players to get really good creep spread. And what I mean by that is if you take a look at this map from Soulkey's end, if he extends his creep down this ramp into this possible 4th base area, then he's not going to have creep spread down this side. And if he extends the creep this way, does he extend it into this area, or does he extend it to the south area and go down? And once he gets to the middle of the map, does he go left or right? So as a Zerg player, I find that Star Station is very difficult to get adequate creep spread, because you can get good creep spread, but then you have to make choices where you want to put the creep. Or you have to put down lots and lots of different creep tumors and just go every single which way possible, which is also an option, but it's just a lot more micro-intensive, and it takes up a lot more time and resources to do that. And look, On the left side of the map, it looks like we got a little sneaky Hellion harass coming by. We got 2 Hellions in this composition, but there's so many queens here. Soulkey is going to be able to make those Hellions run back as they should. And the Hellions are looking for something to poke at, but we've got 2 evolution chambers here blocking the natural with 2 queens as well with their fat bodies. The Hellions are not going to be able to do any damage there. So Soulkey has very good positioning. His third is also defended by a Spine Crawler and a Queen. So there's not going to be much happening there. Now Innovation does have his third orbital command almost up, and he'll be able to lift that to this third position very quickly. But he'll just have to set up a couple supply depots and a bunker, I think, to really protect it, to get that base going. But we still have that 6 Hellion harass, and it looks like these drones are going to be prone here. One Zergling does go down, so does a drone. That Spine Crawler placement is right in the middle, and that's going to be good to keep away direct attacks, but these periphery attacks are still doing a lot. The Hellions have been able to kill 3 drones, so this has not been a total loss for Innovation to harass like this. He was also able to pick off a creep tumor, so you can't discount that. And once again, the Hellions are going to come in here again, able to roast 3 more drones, and 2 more after that, so 8 drones in total killed for 2 Hellions. That's a pretty good deal for Innovation, because he really wants to stop that economic power from those 3 bases from Soulkey. So Innovation with very good plays, able to kill 8 drones for the price of 2 Hellions, like I mentioned before. But neither player is really being too aggressive, just some poking and prodding here and there. And here's that creep spread, like I said. The creep is just going to have to go every which way. Soulkey does have 2 creep tumors here, so he's able to go left and right. And he's going to be putting more down towards the center of the map, towards that Xel'Naga tower. So I think that's smart by Soulkey. It's just going to take extra work for him. Now, I'm not sure about the placement of this Roach Warren, because he's getting the creep connected with Overlord spewing creep. It might have been better to put the Roach Warren right here on the edge, because if there's a scan that goes down from Innovation, he'll be able to see that Roach Warren immediately. If he put it here, it's more than likely Innovation would not be able to see it if he scanned the natural or the main. So this positioning of the Roach Warren is a little bit curious to me. It's okay. Just might have been better to hide it over here, but maybe a Spire or something else will go over here. But we don't have to worry about that right now, because Soulkey looks like he's marching to either victory or defeat here. He's got a 30 supply advantage. He's got lots of roaches. +1 attack is almost finished as well. 29 roaches. And the third base of Innovation is under attack. There's only 1 lone bunker here. Those SCVs cannot repair fast enough. The bunker goes out immediately. And now the SCVs are pulled off the line. They're going to try and form a meat shield. The Marines are stimming, doing a lot of damage to the roaches. The roaches are very good against Marines, but the supplies are falling for both sides. The roaches look like they're not going to be able to do too much here. A lot of them are in the red, and it looks like they're going to be retreating, but actually just retreating to a larger pack of reinforcements. But Innovation has been able to hold off that initial attack. Resources lost is slightly in Innovation's favor, but remember, he did lose quite a few SCVs forming that SCV wall, trying to protect his Marines and Marauders, and it looks like Soulkey's not finished yet. 1-1 is done for both players, but Innovation is going to stim for it with his Marines and Marauders, able to pick off 2 roaches. The third one does go down, and now the roaches are in full retreat. So great move by Innovation. Just noticing that his army is so much bigger, he's just going to stim directly into that army. He says, I don't care. I'm going to do everything that I can to destroy you. And now with that 4th hatchery almost up for Soulkey, looks like Innovation is going to have to do some damage here. That midback is going to boost away. Is he going to drop into the main? There are no forces here yet. The roaches are walking around. They're going to have to recollect themselves. Now this Spine Crawler is going to be able to pick away at that Widow Mine, but that Overseer did not finish, so there's no detection. These Marines will get chewed up easily by that acid, but we still got a Widow Mine. And Overseer is going to be morphing in again. And that Widow Mine will be destroyed. There we go. The Spine Crawler is able to poke at it very convincingly. And now with that 4th base up by Soulkey, he can start mining from it. But unfortunately, Innovation's got other plans. He's got 8 Marines and can just drop on the higher ground by that Xel'Naga tower, and that's so annoying when you take this 4th base with that Xel'Naga tower, especially if you put range units up here. They can just fire down on some of the miners, and the Zerglings cannot get a good surround. They're only able to hit those few Marines in the front, and the Roaches are going to have to be utilized here. The Marines will finally be destroyed. So Soulkey is able to protect his base. Very good move by Soulkey. And now Innovation is in the middle of the map, cleaning up a lot of creep tumors, and he's very close to Soulkey's base. He does have a small supply advantage, but the banelings are popping out as well. This is up for grabs for anyone. Now 2-2 looks like it is finished. Or it's not finished. I thought it was finished. It's not. Both players are still on 1-1. The Widow Mines get a great connection on the Widow Mines. Marines are kiting back. Roaches are stampeding forward, but they're going to have to hold back just for a bit. And remember, there are no creep tumors here, even though there is still creep. Innovation has been able to clean up a lot of that purple stuff on that ground. So Soulkey is going to have to defend again at his new 4th base. And that's going to split his force. Innovation is going to split. He's going to attack the 3rd base now. The Mulus does go down. It looks like the Roaches are going to come back in here to reinforce. But Soulkey's 4th is then up for grabs. Only Mutalisk to defend, but Marines with Stim are very good. So Innovation has one small attack force over to the left, picking away at Soulkey's 4th base. Meanwhile, he has a huge attack force just outside the 3rd base of Soulkey, and now Innovation is going to make something happen here. He has a huge supply advantage by about 30. Banelings are rolling, not getting good connections. Great splits by Innovation. He does lose quite a few Marines on this left flank, but it looks like we've still got a great concave. The Marines and Marauders are just stimming forward. They're not afraid. They're doing a lot of damage here, and now the Queens are going to try with the Zerglings to get a surround, but it's not very effective. The Marines are going to retreat back into a larger pack of reinforcements. Innovation is putting on the pressure. Supplies are dropping for both sides, but if we take a look at resources lost, we know who is winning this game, and Soulkey's going to have to tap out again. Now, I don't know about the Manor Mule after your opponent GGs and leaves. I don't know what word that would be. Probably not a Manor Mule anymore. A victory meal? I don't know. I don't know why Innovation would put down the Manor Mule after he's already won the game. But great game by Innovation. He was just able to constantly annoy this 4th base with a few Marines and a few Marauders, and then poking over here with his larger army. And Soulkey wasn't able to multitask and defend either attack very well. And Soulkey went for that really early three base Roach aggression, but it wasn't effective. And at that point in time, you have to remember Soulkey had about a 30 supply advantage, but Roaches, they give 2 supply each one, and it's kind of deceiving as to actually how much supply or how much power that has. So even though Soulkey had a huge supply advantage, it doesn't necessarily mean he had a great army advantage. So Soulkey's down 0-2. I guess he's planning to do things the hard way, just like in Season 1. He's going to have to win 3 games in a row from match point down. We'll have to see if Innovation's going to stop that or if Soulkey's going to be able to force Game 4. I'm really excited, so let's head over to Game 3.